Hello, my name is Tsingleton, and today we will be discussing formal and informal assessments. Formal and informal assessments are two specific procedures that teachers use to evaluate and grade their students. What are formal assessments? Formal assessments can be defined as systematic, pre-planned database tests that measure what and how well the students have learned. Formal assessments determine the student's proficiency or mastery of the content and can be used for comparisons against certain standards. As with anything, there are pros and cons. Some of the pros to formal assessments are that the answer is definite. After the assessment that's being used is evaluated, there's a definite answer. You can either receive a score by a percentile or a standard score. It also allows a parent of a student to see how the child compares to other students in the class. Some of the negatives about formal assessment is that some students just don't test well. They get test anxiety, they get distracted from things happening in the classroom. So the results of that test in that one sitting may not show the full capability of the student and what they know and have learned from the content area. Some examples of formal assessments are standardized tests, criterion reference tests, and norm reference tests. Now let's get into informal assessments. Informal assessments are content and performance driven that are usually incorporated into the day-to-day classroom activities. It also measures students' performance and progress. Some positives about informal assessments are that they don't require a great deal of planning, and they're usually less stressful for students because some examples. Now that I've discussed formal and informal assessments, their pros and cons, which assessment is better? The truth is, formal assessments and informal assessments are needed in the education field. Formal assessments need to be administered to assess the overall achievement of your student. An informal assessment will be important to help drive instruction on a daily basis. So overall, when I think of informal and formal assessments, I have a very clear example of what it would look like. Formal assessments would be something like the PARC, which is an assessment that is used at the end of the year in Baltimore City Public Schools. You have an English PARC and you also have an algebra PARC. There's a benchmark that students have to make in order to be considered on grade level. At the end, you get your score and it is what it is. However, with informal assessments, the English or math teacher would be able to use homework or checklists throughout the school year, throughout different sections of the curriculum to determine what level the student is on. So overall, you do need both assessments, but either one is a great tool to use in the education world.